to the AfterSchrock. I'm still Thor Schrock, and we're still here in the radio station in the studio doing our thing. We got some stories that we weren't able to quite get to here. But in the meantime, we are going to give everyone a moment to join up, and then once everyone's joined in, we can go ahead and get started. All right, so what should we start with first? We have Apple, we have Ticketmaster. We talked about the Adobe thing already. All right. So, Apple. This is the paragraph. Boy, some folks are ticked, except they don't say ticked. You'd think that Apple would finally give some very expensive love to its MacBook Pro. Sorry. You would think that Apple finally giving some love to its expensive MacBook Pro lineup would give some relief to power-hungry professionals, but no. All right. So Apple dedicated the line this week. They did it quietly without a big event. In a tone-deaf, we don't really care about pro users. Okay. So people are complaining that Apple, in releasing their new version of the MacBook hardware, because they didn't have a big hoopla, they didn't have a big event and fanfare and everything, it shows that they don't care about professional Mac users, and therefore people are upset. Okay, you see, most generally, Apple holds a big event in the fall where it updates its iPhones and some other stuff. Sometimes Apple holds a big event in the spring where it updates some other stuff. Then in early summer, Apple holds WWDC, its big developer conference, where product intros are a complete wild card. Once in a while, during the off-season, away from events, Apple does product updates. It might be a processor bump here, or, well, you know, mostly just a processor bump. Rarely does Apple make vast improvements to a product shortly after a product event. This is important, especially for Macs. Buyers of professional-level Macs, which are insanely expensive, believe this is critical. The last thing anyone wants to do is settle for a vomit-inducingly high-priced Mac and then discover there's a new one that you really would have preferred that's been introduced just a little while later. So Apple introduced an updated MacBook Pro capable of supporting 32 gigs of RAM instead of 16. Literally, that's what Mac Pro users have been asking for years. I specifically waited until the developer conference to buy a new Mac because that's when they usually announce the new Mac, right? I even waited a week after just to be sure. Because Apple doesn't pre-announce products, pro developers like Tony have to rely on experience to predict when will be a good time to buy the equipment they need. Right after a hardware dud or a developer conference, it's disappointingly clear that there was a cold desert for new professional products, and it was time to break down and settle on another old one. Apple is clearly not updating Macs this time around, right? If they were going to, especially with something like doubling the capacity of the memory, opening up to i9 processors and going up to 6 cores, they would have announced it to the developers, all of whom would have cheered. But no announcement. 35 days later, after smart buyers waited long enough to be really sure that they weren't going to get a new Mac, Apple dropped a new Mac. So that's why they're upset. I can see that. It's one of the reasons why, like at SchrockInnovations.com, every year we come out with a new line of computers. Basically, we upgrade what we have. Well, we don't talk about it on the radio until about 2 weeks after we have changed it in the service center. And we change it in the service center, and anyone who's ordered in the previous 2 weeks automatically gets the upgraded model. Because the last thing you want to do is hand someone an old model, get on the radio 2 weeks later, talk about how the new model is awesome, and have people with buyer's remorse. And that's what they're talking about here. This is a fancy way of saying buyer's remorse. People saying, I wish I would have waited. I wish I wouldn't have bought your product when I did. You never want that. So we make sure that that doesn't happen. Apple doesn't, because, well, if they did, they didn't update that Apple MacBook for 3 years, or the iMac for 3 years. If they didn't update any of it for 3 years, well, I guess they're not going to update it for a while. In fact, there were articles, I think we talked about it last week, where they were talking about how the future for the Mac is in the cloud, and Mac users hated it. Get rid of the Mac. It's just a terminal now. It's not a powerhouse. You're not going to be doing anything creative with it. It's just a terminal to get to Apple's cloud now. That was apparently not the case, but Apple didn't. Next time they're going to have some fanfare for sure, because they're going to realize they screwed something up here. But this is one of those little touches that's missing since Steve Jobs died. Steve Jobs wouldn't have made this mistake, because Steve Jobs was the king of taking normal things and putting fancy names on them to make them something fancy. So for example, how many of you Apple users have an airport router? The Apple Airport, it's just a wireless router. There's nothing special about it. How about a time machine backup drive? There's nothing special about a time machine backup drive. It's an external hard drive. That's all it is. It's the time machine backup drive. You know, there are so many things. The zero gravity sensors. When you drop your MacBook, it parks the hard drive. That's built into the hard drive. Anyone who buys that line of hard drive gets that. So Steve Jobs would take like some of the common things and put really fancy names on them and then make them special. And then all those things put together made his products special, which made Mac users love his products. And you could sit there and tell them there's nothing special about the time machine backup drive. It's an external hard drive. Hook up any external hard drive to the Mac, and it's a time machine. And then, oh no, mine's faster. My time machine's faster because it's Thunderbolt. My time machine is better because of this or that. There was always a reason it was better, always. And that's kind of been lost on Apple since Steve Jobs' passing. So they still make good products. They still do things. People are still going to buy. Is this going to slow down people buying the MacBook? No. They're still going to buy the MacBook. Just some people are going to be a little ticked off. Some people are going to be a little ticked off that they bought an outdated MacBook and now they have to buy another one. Literally, we're talking about $3,000 computer here, guys. They bought a $3,000 computer and they're upset and they're going to have to buy another one. So they're not going to go to PC. They're going to stay with Mac, and Apple knows that. But there's knowing that, and then there's acting like that, and they shouldn't act that way. It's not cool. All right, so the next one here, Ticketmaster. Oh, hey, everybody. I just looked down and saw all the hellos here. Hi, Roger. Hi, Mark. Hey, Thomas. How's it going? Mitch, good to see you. So welcome aboard, everybody. It's kind of funny. We have more people for the AfterSchrock than we do for the show watching online here. Maybe that's because you have to watch online because we're not on the radio anymore. I don't know. But it's going to be kind of interesting because one of the things we talked about this week in the shop, so we're trying to figure out what's going to go on with the Des Moines show. You know, we have to change the intro. We're cutting a new intro right now. I'm working with Scott Voorhees on that, getting that taken care of. But the time slot they put us in, it's 2 to 3 p.m. on the Des Moines station on Sunday afternoon. It is like the worst time slot you could ever ask for. It's terrible. No, who's listening to the radio 2 to 3 p.m. on Sunday afternoon? Now, granted, of course, there are people listening, but as a rule, it's not like church time when you're getting in the car to go to church, so the radio is naturally on. So there might be people out and about running errands, but you're not going to get that same repetition every week of the same people at the same time hearing the same things, which is from a business perspective what you want. And it helps build a radio show audience. So I thought, well, let's look at our KFAB ratings. Yeah, maybe not, Brian. Maybe I don't have to filter as much. I try to filter pretty well on here. I didn't say pissed. Oh, I just said pissed. I censored that before, right? I just said that to prove a point, but I censored that before. I said ticked. It was pretty ticked because, you know, every mic is a live mic, right? I mean, this is just one button press away from being live on the air right now. Wouldn't want that. So anyway, yeah, the current program wouldn't appreciate it. So, oh, okay. Well, see, Terry, you slept late, so maybe you would listen later in the day. I don't know, but so what we said is what is our current rating on KFAB? And we put like a 1.7 rating, 1.7 share. And the current rating on the time slot we're going to get on WHO is 0.2. It's that much worse. So then the next question is, I said, what's the rating for 2 to 3 p.m. on KFAB? And it's like 0.2. So it's the same rating. So then I'm like, okay, now the question is, do we have a 1.7 share during the 7 to 8 o'clock hour because people just are naturally in their vehicles and listening to the radio during that time? Or is it because we're that good? Or is it some combination of the two? Like there's actually, when I say that good, I mean we're not like a vitamin commercial, you know what I mean? We're not canned recorded content that's running on the air like a vitamin ad. You know, we're actually interactive content where you can call in, you can be a part of the show, you can hear, you can learn things. You know, it's interesting, it's entertaining, hopefully. So basically, is it a combination of the two? What's the deal? So it's going to be an interesting experiment. We're going to be watching the ratings numbers to see how quickly we can build an audience in Des Moines in that 2 to 3 p.m. time slot. It's going to be kind of fun to watch. All right, so Ticketmaster. A recent breach at Ticketmaster was just the tip of the iceberg of a wider, massive credit card skimming operation new research has found. At least 800 e-commerce websites are said to be affected after they included code developed by a third-party company and later altered by hackers, according to firm Risk IQ. All right, so if you remember the Ticketmaster story, what ended up happening was when you go to Ticketmaster's website, you can buy tickets, obviously, online. But once in a while, if you're taking too long on a page or something, it'll pop up and say, how can I help you? And it's like the little virtual assistant, you know, the thing that's not a real person, so you type something, then it connects you with a real person to help. Well, what was happening was in that chat box, that chat session was not encrypted. And so what ended up happening is you were talking with a Ticketmaster rep, and the Ticketmaster rep was like, oh, I can take care of that order for you. Would you like to pay right through here? I can take your credit card number. Go ahead and type it in. And you would type in your credit card number and hit enter, but it wasn't encrypted. And the people that made that software, the chat software, said we never intended for this chat software to be used to transmit financial information. This was supposed to be chat software for support, not for sensitive information. So therefore, it was never encrypted because it was never intended to be used this way. If we would have known Ticketmaster was using it this way, we would have never allowed it to be used this way. So that was how the whole thing was explained away, basically. Yes, it was unfortunate, but it was only those few people who interacted with the chatbot who typed their credit card number into the chatbot, okay? Actually, what we're finding is there were two pieces of software that were exposed that were anyone who interacted with the chatbot and also anyone who just typed in a credit card in the secure side too. What was happening is the code that this third-party company was putting into the website to handle payment processing, which happens on, this is very common, guys. So this is not like a no-no thing that Ticketmaster did. Like the chatbot thing, that's kind of a no-no. This is not. I mean, this is like standard. For example, when you check out at SchrockInnovations.com, we have third-party software that when you type in your zip code, it determines what county you're in because we have to assess the proper sales tax by county. So we have to know what county you're in. Sometimes zip codes transcend counties. So you have a drop down where you have to pick, you know, Sarpy or Douglas or something like that. So that's an example of third-party software. So it's not all bad stuff. Some of it's very useful. The problem was the third-party software that was made for the checkout process got hacked by a hacking group. So what the hacking group is finding is you could attack Ticketmaster head on. It's really hard to attack them. Really hard to get in, and when you get in, you'll get access to Ticketmaster's customer base. But wouldn't it be better to hack the third-party company that lots of websites use on their payment processing pages? Because then literally once we develop that one hack, we have 800 victims overnight that we can skim credit cards from, and that's what happened here. The credit card skimming effort of a massive campaign by a threat group dubbed Megacart, it was operational since 2015, targets software companies that build and provide code that developers use on their websites to improve their site or customer experience. After the hackers break in and alter the code, it affects every website on which it runs, potentially affecting millions of users every day. Oh, let's see. By targeting third-party code suppliers, the hackers can, in some cases, get nearly 10,000 victims instantly, said research. Cast your mind back to last week when the Ticketmaster breach happened. The ticket-selling giant admitted that some customers had their payment data compromised because the website was running code from, it's a company called Inventa, a customer support software company, that's the chatbot, which hackers had altered. It's not uncommon for websites to rely on third-party code hosted on other websites and services to support their own, but they present a single point of failure which, if breached, can affect every site the code is on. Inventa had said that Ticketmaster was the only website affected, while Ticketmaster said only a few of its sites ran the compromised code. But Risk IQ now says that the Ticketmaster breach was far bigger than first thought. After several of its global sites, including the US site, which had initially ruled out being affected, was running code from yet another third-party company that had also been compromised by the same group. So yeah, we weren't affected by that, but when we got to look and we said, hey, wait a minute, what's that? Oh no, we were infected this whole time and we didn't even know it. Yeah, that's a bummer. So yeah, it's kind of interesting there. Any button or form that's hooked when a user clicks and submits on the field on the page executes the skimmer. So is there any way to protect yourself from this kind of stuff? No, there's not. You can live in fear your whole life. You can shun the internet and its e-commerce devils, but you know, it's Prime Day tomorrow, guys. Come on, Prime Day. You know what Prime Day is, right? So Prime Day is like Amazon. See, this is one of the things that we're going to be a week tape delayed on WHO, so I can't talk about time-sensitive things. So Prime Day is Monday. I couldn't even talk about it because it'll be a week over by the time they hear it in Des Moines. They'll be like, oh, some poor guy's going to be like, it's Prime Day. And he's going to get on Amazon's website and be like, it's not Prime Day, but Thor said it was Prime Day. Can't have that. So it's Prime Day Monday, e-commerce day. Go for it. You can order from your Amazon Alexa now. All right, jumping back into the comments here. Terry, all right. I'm from Des Moines, and WHO listeners are loyal like you have never experienced. If they like you, and they will, you'll be pleasantly surprised. I hope so, Terry. I really do. Hey, Gary, good to see you, buddy. Also, on the self-checkout kiosks of the future, there'll be a big target then too. Actually, yes. In fact, you might remember, speaking of a big target, well, a single point of failure, all the credit card terminals that you swipe your cards in. Yeah. Okay, so they have a chip, so they're super secure, and they require a PIN number still. What's up with that? Why does my debit card have a chip and a PIN? Come on. But anyway, you swipe your card in these terminals, right? And the terminals are all linked to a central server. They all go through the same thing. It's a central point of failure. So you remember Target, right? What happened with Target, I don't know if we talked about this, I think, on the show, but the credit card terminals didn't get hacked. Nobody hacked into the credit card terminals. They were a hardened point of entry. Nobody went in there. What ended up happening was there was a third-party HVAC contractor who had a contract to maintain all of the air conditioning units in all the Targets nationwide and in Canada. And basically, when Target would call him like, hey, the air conditioner's not working, we need you to fix it, he would remote in to that Target store's central HVAC computer to find out what was going on with the air conditioning system. And so he had a computer in his office that he could, with a single button click, log into any Target's network in the country. His computer got infected with malware because he didn't have antivirus at his HVAC office, wherever he was at. And once his computer got infected, the bad guys figured out from his computer, we could access every Target in the country. This is awesome. What could we do if we got access to every Target in the country? Hey, check it out. Once we're into the network, we can get to the credit card terminals. Let's load this malware that takes over all the credit card terminals, and all of a sudden, you've got the Target breach. So it's crazy. Things like that happen. All right, so self-checkout kiosks, yeah, I mean, I guess I could see that, but I suppose if I was a hacker, and I'm going to take my white hat off, put my black hat on. If I'm a hacker and I want to have fun with the self-checkout kiosk, I'm going to make it like not ring stuff up or like take things off, have it ring a negative total so it gives you money back. Do you think that's funny? That would be funny, right? Boop. Wait, I owe you $1? Boop, you owe me $2. Boop, you owe me $10. I want to buy more stuff. And it just like spits out cash at the end. That's what I would do stupid stuff like that if I was a bad guy. But no, you're absolutely right. Skimmers, that's why the gas pumps now, Hy-Vee is replacing all their gas pumps because they have new anti-skimming technology on the front, because the bad guys will put a device right over the card swipe where you put the card in, and literally that device they put over the top reads your card as it goes in and out. The pump still works fine. The pump works, but it's like there's two credit card readers, and it stores all of your credit card information. They come back later, they grab the device, and they've got all the credit cards that were used on the pump that day. There's always going to be a thief trying to steal something, guys, and there's always going to be a way to do it. Back in the day, they used to just pop you over the head and take your purse. You know what I mean? At least we're a little more civilized now, right? All right, last call for questions, guys. If you have a moment to ask a question, go ahead and type it in the box down here. Be happy to help you out with it. If you have a moment while we're doing this here, I'm going to give you this website to go to, www.bestofvoting.com. If you can go there for me and vote for Schrock Innovations as best computer repair company. You have to vote for like 5 different categories, I think. So you might throw some others in there. If you hear other advertisers on KFAB or KFOR, feel free to put their names in there. They would really appreciate it. These awards really help businesses out a lot, especially small independent businesses. So don't put like best burger, McDonald's, come on. We all know that's not the best burger in town. But put a local business in there. It really helps them out a lot. It helps us out a lot. We appreciate it. So yeah, we do computer repair, and there's also a website development on there too. If you want to throw us in under that too, we'd appreciate it. But primarily computer repair. All right, last call for questions. Alice, I need to renew my Secure Updater. What website do I go to? Great question, Alice. Okay, so the Secure Updater website, when you get an email saying to renew your Secure Updater, it's going to take you back to the Secure Updater website. So you can renew your stuff at secureupdater.com. Right now, Secure Updater was, when we designed it, we're still, it blows my mind. This is one of those ideas that I had that just should have taken off like a rocket. It should have been like millionaire territory, and it just didn't. And I still don't understand why. So literally, we're a computer repair shop, and we are not, I'm trying to find a way to say this without sounding like an arrogant jerk, but the way we do things is very different than most computer repair shops. We're better at it. In a lot of ways, not because we have better technicians, or we're better at it because we have areas of responsibility. So I get on the radio and I talk to you guys and I explain things in English that are complex things, and the guys in the shop, the technicians, listen to me give these explanations, and they'll use the same anecdotes and the same examples when they talk to you on the phone in the shops. When I talk about hiring people, we try to hire people that have empathy for other people, because if you care about people, I can train you to do anything. And so those are the things. Now, most computer repair shops, the reason I say we're better now, to put that in perspective, most computer repair shops are owner-operated things. Like I started Schrock 20 years ago. I was owner-operated. I decided I wanted a computer repair shop. I opened it up. I fixed computers, right? So most computer repair shops are really, really good computer technicians. They may not have all the other tools in the toolbox, you know what I mean? They may not be good salespeople. They may not have good marketing sense. They may not know how to find new customers or how to keep them, or how to, one of the biggest things, I consult these guys. I help them with their businesses in other states. And I talk to them, and they're giving their work away for like next to nothing. And I'm like, you're going broke. You're working yourself to death. You have to charge a fair price for what you do. And they don't understand what a fair price is for what they do. And after I explain to them all this stuff, then they're like, oh my gosh, I've been charging like $30 an hour, and I should be charging, and then finally I get them to agree like 70 an hour would at least be reasonable. Like, yeah, that'd be pretty darn low. That's pretty cheap, actually. Considering the Geek Squad charges 120 an hour, you're talking 70 for customized support with someone who knows what they're doing. Come on, man. So anyway, so we go through all this stuff. Those guys are having a really tough time of it, because they don't have a product to sell really anymore. All the computers are going chip on board. They're hard to repair, impossible to repair in some cases. They don't have access to large amounts of capital, so they can't stock a lot of laptops and desktops to sell. So they're kind of doing hand-to-mouth thing there. Parts, same thing. They're buying parts on an as-needed basis. They're not really carrying an inventory of components because they age and they get old. So giving these guys something to sell that they could sell and make good money on and feed their families, that would provide a real value to customers, would be an amazing idea, right? So we had this product called Secure Updater. As we've talked about on the show, you can see today with the Adobe thing, it's huge. I mean, this stuff is peace of mind to the 10. I mean, you get a pop-up on your screen that says, you need to install the Flash Player update. You know it's fake. If you have Secure Updater, you know it's fake. If you don't have Secure Updater, you have to try to figure out, is that a real pop-up or a fake pop-up? Do I click it? Do I not click it? Do I call someone for help? And it becomes a whole rigmarole thing. Well, Secure Updater gets rid of all that. Secure Updater, because it's a software product, we had a lot of upfront costs to create it, but the cost to print additional licenses, we print the licenses. So we own secureupdater.com is that's where you go to re-up it. So what if other computer repair shops had the ability to sell Secure Updater to their customers? Not as a Schrock Innovations product, because maybe some other local computer repair shops would want to sell it. You know what I mean? Like, local shops are suffering too. I mean, I know a couple guys in town right now that are barely hanging on. Like, it's their dream. They don't want to sell. I've talked to them. They don't want out. It's their dream to run a computer repair business. That's what they want to do, but they are barely hanging on. And I come to them and I said, here's this Secure Updater product. You can sell this to your customers for $50 the first year, $25 each additional year, and you get $40 of the $50. We get $10. That's all Schrock gets, is $10. You get the rest, okay, when you sell this to your customers. And this is literally a way for you to add $40 of profit to every ticket you have in your shop while providing something that your customers need. And I can't get computer repair shops to sign on. Literally, you can go to secureupdater.com. We have a resellers tab. You can click on it. You can read the whole spiel. But it's either they think it's too good to be true, or they look at it and they're like, well, you could do this manually. Why would anybody want to do this? And you're like, because most people don't want to do it. I can manually clean the compressor in my air conditioner too, but I call the AC guy to do it. What the heck? So anyway, so That's a very long story. Sorry, but that's why it's not on the Schrock website. Is we kept it completely separate because in case a local company wanted to do it, we didn't want a local company is not going to want to promote a Schrock product. So if it was not a Schrock product, if it was just Secure Updater, then they would promote it better, right? So basically, Secure Updater is made by Schrock Innovations. It is a Schrock product. And so we're going to, with our new website, we're doing another phase of integration. Right now, you can order all of our computers and everything like that on the website. But the next phase of integration is going to be all your subscriptions in one place, your endpoint, your Secure Updater, your Schrock Desk subscriptions, all your maintenance checkup certificates, all in your Schrock account so that you can go look it all up at one time and have one place for you to find it and also one place for us to find it. It'll make us a lot more efficient as well. So that's where we're going. So where you renew your Secure Updater right now is secureupdater.com. If you don't want to do it online, you can always call us in the stores and we'll do it for you over the phone. That's no big deal. But otherwise, secureupdater.com is where you handle that. In the future, you can do it all in your Schrock account, but not quite yet. All right, so Deanna, I got a dreaded green screen when I turn on your Samsung S6. It takes 5 minutes to go away. That is weird. I've never seen I had an S6. I've never seen a green screen before. Let me see. And you said dreaded, like it's a known thing. The dreaded green screen S6. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, it is the dreaded green screen. 3 or 4 days, my Galaxy S6 has been displaying a green screen with 2 spinning wheels. It says Android is optimizing apps. Let's see. Does it happen? People are asking questions that don't matter. I'm not sure what's causing that. Then why are you responding? You want to back it up and restore it. Great. Thanks for letting us know. Google Smart Switch for Windows is the link that doesn't seem to be working. Google Smart Switch for Windows as the link. Okay. So anyway, a bunch of people don't know what's causing it. So yeah, it looks like it is an S6 problem. It goes to green screen mode, and there is a fix for it. And I'm looking to see what that fix is now, Deanna. We're going to see if we can get this fixed up for you. Happens under various conditions, how to fix the problem. Okay. Are you ready, Deanna? Get ready. I'm going to give you instructions. Get a pencil. Gosh, I wish I could copy this. I wonder if, oh man, it's such a long URL. Okay. Are you ready? Here we go. Number 1, hold the power key and the volume down key. Okay. Power, volume down. After a few seconds, the screen will change color. Don't worry, that's normal. When the screen changes color, let all the buttons go, okay? That was step 1 and 2. So power and volume down until the screen changes color, and then let them go. Give the phone some time and let it boot up like normal. Now find the App Clean Master and uninstall it if you have it installed. If you don't have that app, then a recent or existing app on your device is triggering the green screen and you need to uninstall it. So basically, there's an app that is causing this called the App Clean Master. If you have that app installed on your device, uninstall it. Otherwise, take a look. This is an opportunity. You want to go through your device and uninstall any apps you don't use. They say go look for a recently added one, which you could do. Go through and remove anything you're not using, anything that you installed to try one time. I do this once or twice a year, and I go through and just blast a bunch of stuff out of my phone. Get any of that garbage out of there. All right, so now when you're done, reboot your device and see if the green screen returns. All right, so what causes the issue? In my case, the Clean Master app was to be blamed. It seems a bug in the app triggered the screen after an intensive internet surfing. Other apps and other situations may also trigger this, so bear in mind when you try to fix the issue. So it's definitely caused by an app, a glitchy app of some sort. My guess is that there's some kind of a third-party app design structure that's allowing people to make apps with ease, basically, and there's some kind of a glitch causing the green screen. So hopefully that takes care of it for you, Deanna. All right, Brian, just check the voting website you mentioned, and they give you a free year of Omaha Magazine when you register. You could mention that too. Yeah, I could. You get a free year of Omaha Magazine when you register to win. They also send you like the victory winners guide or whatever with the stuff in it. But here's the real thing, Brian, if we're talking bribes, this is the real thing. Every year when we win, if we win, we go to the Best of Omaha Festival. It's a trade show. We pay $1,500 to go to that trade show to set up a booth. And in that booth, we do something fun. Like one year it was all VR, right? You could sit, you could race a VR car. Like you sat in the seat and the seat would rumble and you had the controls and the steering wheel would shake and you had the goggles on. And it was like, that was like 3 years ago we did that. And it was like the first really real VR experience. And literally we got featured in the World Herald for that one. That was awesome. The last time we went, we did AfterSchrock, which was kind of funny because Alfonso designed it for us. Because I went to Alfonso, I said, we need something fun to do at the trade show. And I'm thinking like, I was looking because there's these services that you can hire to come in. It costs like $2,000, but then they put like a safe on your table, and it's like safe cracker. If you put in the right combination and unlock the safe, you get $1 million, and like they pay the $1 million. So there's like really $1 million, not in the safe, but you know, there's really $1 million prize if somebody wins. The odds of somebody unlocking it are astronomical. So I was like, on one hand, it's kind of cool, but you know, we could win $1 million. Imagine if somebody won. Wouldn't that be amazing? Like, shocking to me. I expect you to buy everything we have, okay? If you win $1 million from us, you got to buy everything. But no one's going to win, right? So we want to have something fun where people win some stuff. So we got a whole bunch of Schrock products together, some tablets, we got some external hard drives, just anything we could get together, stupid little things. And then I had Alfonso build, you know, Schrock Interactive does amazing work. I had him build a safe, basically. We got a big TV screen, and then we put up a touch screen, and it was the AfterSchrock. I said we should have like the Schrock lottery, but I guess, you know, he's from Venezuela, so in Spanish you take the noun and the adjective and you flip them. So instead of Schrock lottery, instead of the Nebraska lottery or the Iowa lottery, it would be the lottery of Nebraska or the lottery of Iowa or the lottery of Schrock or AfterSchrock. So it was the AfterSchrock app, and so basically everybody went in there, and we had this we had a little kid come up, and you had to pick 4 numbers, boop, 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 and he unlocked it and won a tablet, and oh my gosh, he flipped. So it was so much fun. We had people around our table. It was like I was like a carnival barker. I couldn't talk at the end because I was like, step right up, yeah, win some stuff here, and like, people were coming over. It was just a blast. We had so much fun. So here's the deal: if we win, I promise you, we will come up with something super duper cool to do at our Best of Omaha Festival table. We will give away free stuff at the table, and not just pens. Come on, everybody gets a pen. Not just a flashlight. We gave away pens. We gave away flashlights. We gave away Schrock products. We had a lot of fun. So we will do something completely fun, completely awesome, but we got to win first. So if you go vote for us at bestofvoting.com, vote for Schrock for Best of Omaha in computer repair, and then when we do the Best of Omaha Festival, we'll set up our booth and we'll do our thing, and it'll be cool. It'll be fun. You'll like it. All right, so last call, guys. I got to get rolling here. So let's see. Anybody else got one more thing? All right. Deanna, this is the first time I've seen you. I pictured you every Sunday morning in a suit and a tie. Well, you know, funny thing, I have suits and ties, and I used to wear them all the time. Like on TV, I wore a jacket a lot. I wore the jacket with the button-down shirt, but because it was TV, right? One of the things what it would go for at Schrock is casual competence. That's one of our cornerstones of our corporate culture. So we wear T-shirts at work. You know, first of all, you try to get these Millennium guys to wear. Geek Squad does the shirt and tie thing, okay? You can't do the shirt and tie thing. I mean, we could go with vests, you know. Oh wait, that's Walmart. They do vests. Mesh shirts. That's right. Mesh shirts. We're gonna do mesh shirts, guys. That got vetoed. The lovely Kimberly shut that down. So we went with T-shirts, right? And so the T-shirts we used to do jerseys, like sports jerseys. So, I mean, basically it's casual competence. When you come into a Schrock Innovations, it's not stuffy. It's very personable, very friendly, but we're very competent at what we do. We know what we're doing, and we'll help you out. We'll help you with your tech. And if we don't know the answer, we're competent enough to admit that we don't know the answer and figure it out and get you the answer. So it's casual competence. So yeah, so the shirt and tie, I could do the shirt and tie. Maybe I'll do that one week. I'll just come in with like a shirt and a tie on, and like, you know, it'll be like a Schrock tie and a Schrock shirt. And then as halfway through the show, you know, I'll loosen the tie because it's getting hot, and then just I'll have a Schrock T-shirt on underneath. Yeah, this is going in a bad direction. I'm just going to stop this now. Yeah, so we do have great flashlights. We do have great flashlights. The lovely Kimberly says we have great flashlights, and we do. But yeah, and she'll be the first to admit that she was the one that personally, you have the lovely Kimberly to thank for shutting down the Schrock Innovations mesh shirt ideas. It's really hard, it turns out, to screen print on a mesh shirt. There were no mesh shirts. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us on the program today. I had a lot of fun today, AfterSchrock Day. It was a lot of fun. It was a blast. So thanks for joining us. We appreciate you being here. We'll see you again next Sunday. Don't forget to vote for us, Best of Omaha, at bestofvoting.com. And we'll see you again next Sunday for another edition of Compute This.